So we're into alcohol today, and it's different angles as it comes to herbalists. So why alcohol? Firstly, like, it's really stable. It kills off enzymes and bacteria, or denatures them, so they don't work anymore, which means when you make something with it or immerse something in it, it's not breaking down. It's like it's preserved. And you can see the wonderful picture there of all the preserved frogs. It's often used in natural history collections to preserve, different specimens. And they use formalin as well, but often alcohol. And it's consistent in what it does as a solvent and a preservative. It also halts the growth of yeasts, molds, and other fungi. So you can see, if you're making a medicine with it, it does two things. It extracts all these wonderful compounds from the herb, but also it puts them into such a state that it doesn't degrade, it doesn't deteriorate over time, it doesn't go off, or doesn't ferment. And it has these great solvent properties for plant matter. So very handy thing. Now, in very, very early days, it would have been herbs as a tea, but also herbs in wine or vinegar. So it's just now in current times where we've got the ability to access alcohol, that we're using tinctures all the time, and it becomes a handy way of creating a medicine, and then it's in a state such that you can have it in a bottle on the shelf for years and still use it, and use it at any kind of time, regardless of what's happening on the plant front. That's the big bonus there.
Yeah.
And of course, anything that's over 60% absolute volume, you're at serious risk of alcohol poisoning. Of course, this is what happens. I think we'd all be a little bit familiar with that, not quite the more serious ends. It will be a bit fumy while you're doing it, so that's why you have ventilation. But you stick to the guidelines and you're quite safe. The first time you do a distillation with all the equipment, of course, is you're wondering if it's all going to work and how's this going to go. You just follow the steps, and it's really easy once you get going, and then you get your confidence up and you're right. Now, the legalities. So it's, as with everything, it's a little bit complicated. You can brew alcohol. The ATO would like you to have a license. So this is for tax purposes. It's got nothing to do with safety. Now, if you're doing alcohol for hand sanitizer or distilling essential oils or water, there's no tax payable, and you probably don't need a license. And home brewing doesn't need a license. But if you do sell the alcohol, you require a license, because then you have to keep detailed records and you need to pay tax on it. Now, there's also another angle. If you've got a distillation unit that's over 5 litres in capacity, you need to obtain permission from the Australian Tax Office. So under 5 litres, you're okay. And then, they're selling the alcohol, you need an excise manufacturer's license. So you will find some of these brew shops, they will not sell any still over 5 litres, because then that makes the whole legalities a lot simpler.